Hello and welcome to the mess that is Hunter, and this is just a quick play game that I decided to play here. And Hunter, starting on this side of the map with the slower German division is always quite a mess, so I basically deployed very light up here, a single unit down here, trying to hold on to that flag, and I've put all my units into this area, and actually I deployed too many Sonderkraft at 251 9Ds here. As the PTRSs rush forward, smoke does come down, giving me a little bit of respite, but Sturmgrenadier is having to, or Sturmgruppe, sorry, having to unload there to avoid being sniped. Now we're moving in, trying to secure the area here. The Zis 2 coming in at the beginning, as well as the Maxim, these Superior Rocks, and Stroke SVT also coming in to secure this little forest area. Usually a very good idea, but today, this will just provide me with an endless headache. And we do have a 135 start here, so this is V for Victory versus a Maverick deployment with a very weak 90 points here to 170. And most of the time, V for Victory is actually quite good against balanced, but very bad against Maverick, most players would say in any case, because you do have almost 100 points income disparity between Maverick and V for Victory. So in League itself, oftentimes it's a counter pick versus balanced at most, and you don't see it picked just for its case alone, because it does get that massive deficit versus Maverick here. But big push in the north. Obviously, I've got very little here. There's multiple Panzer IVs here, together with the Su-85, the BA-10, and a T-34 Camarade push in. I do have some reinforcements going in here. My first reinforcement's really trying to shore this up, as I have another 9D and artillery piece trying to take out that anti-tank gun that was sitting there. This flak feeling on the half-track gets the kill on the Talman here. Very weak cluster bombers. But if they are left unimpeded, they can still kill units, which is why people do bring them, and for cheap as well. Panther 4 finds the gold stars on the Pioneer. A bit out of position there after it did shoot one TNT from the stroke, but now just getting suppressed almost immediately. T4 does get penetrated a couple of times, but not for this world. Stuck's still coming out as the 3 units down here do their best to hold on. 45 mil. I've just got a 251 zooming up, trying to prevent the 59 or even a single tick for as long as possible. And I do have this 251 9D down here as well that I was hoping to support against the Maxim, but there's a Tanko Thessaloniki down here that will just clean up my Grenadier if that gets anywhere near in range. 45 mil does unload, eventually killing the half track. I'll have to move my infantry up there, and the 251 just secures this flag for the time being. However, south completely folded, 14 to 10. I have managed to capture the central position for the most part. And the mortar is desperately trying to position fire here as I'm gathering some kind of troops, a Pioneer, to hopefully follow up behind my mortars and take that out. But without any recon and without knowing exactly where these units are, this mortar fire is quite speculative at most. We do get some damage on it. Superior Rocks going down by a few men, and the Stroke SVT as well. But not effective mortar fire without any units to follow it up. 45 mil in the forest. Pioneer didn't quite see it there before it pulls back. We've got another Pioneer coming. Stroke DP deployed very far ahead. Obviously worried about any kind of other units as a Talman comes in. More artillery, just blind firing. Really, I thought I had the mortar shells to keep firing essentially endlessly with this thing. They do come in with a lot of ammo. But if you are constantly firing, trying to smoke out a unit like this, they do take forever, as the Tanko Thessaloniki gets the better of the Panzer Grenadier there. Making me lose the flag, and this is precariously close to a 59, which I do want to prevent as the Talman comes in. Flak 43, 37mm comes in as well. Going to be trying to ward that off. Grenadier gets chased off by this Maxim here. And my first Pioneer, triple star due to this Befehl Panther opening. Coming down south. And it may have been a mistake to go with Befehl Panther, just judging by how little he deployed here. I don't think it was quite needed to secure this position, but the AA has definitely helped me out already. And the Befehl Panther will prove to be very useful over the course of this game, the double star Panther and A being quite aggressive. This 2 coming in though to deal with my Stug, and the Talman actually, I believe, gets the other Stug somehow. Yeah, here. The AI did unload before, which should by all means force off that Talman, but no such luck. Pioneer coming in. Struck SVT is pinned down right now, but I only have 10 shells left, and I'm not quite paying attention to this. As soon as those Stomaviki rocks get in range of the Pioneer, that's not even in range of my own fuel right now, they're just going to melt. Double Flamer squads being very powerful. T4 taking a shot at the 9D. Not good, not good at all. Does go down, and my Pioneer is just getting melted and then surrendered as my mortar shells fly first short and then far. Maxim down here is getting shot at by my own 9D. Befehl Panther comes up here looking for that T-34, but doesn't find it. And 7 minutes into this game is looking very dire for me. Stug 3 is still up, but as soon as that this 2 gets into range, it's going to be 1 dead Stug. As I bring in yet another pack to try and deal with all this armor down here, which in hindsight, I actually thought there was a lot more of, but it was quite the headache to constantly counter micro which side I needed my tanks and AT guns on to protect, as we do hit the 59 for the first time with 8 minutes into this game here. So only a couple minutes of this good income for him till we do get to B phase, but I do have to be careful here. The Sturmvieh rocks still putting influence over this flag, as well as this 2 getting, I believe, mortared with the last 5 rounds. Yak 9T's coming in right over the 7-1. Definitely should have focus fired, but fuck with 190 coming around, trying to get on the back. Very fast fight as these Yak 9Ts, and I thought this was a fairly safe chase, but there's another Yak 9, and he's pre-turning into it, and then with the extra agility on that, does take out my A6, which is not a good kill. Pack 40 firing away, does get a head penetration on that T-34 as my second mortar comes into the south here to try and smoke out these AT guns. Try star Großdeutschland Sturmgruppe down here, going in for another round against the Superior Rocks, or Sturmaviki Rocks. Well, they're also not one for this world. I see it a bit too late, as I do try to retreat. Second Sturmgruppe trying to come in, maybe double team these, but no such luck, because there are also 2 down here, which up to this point, I thought I was maybe dealing with 1. Go down almost immediately, very, very quickly. Another Panzer Grenadier coming into the south here, as well as a Stug trying to clean up this T4. And this mortar starts firing at the Zis gun, which I do see because of my Aufklär. T-34 though, coming into the center position, going to take out this half track that's securing that flag for me, and that's going to be a real big problem here. as it does end up going down. And 15-9, we're back on that double tick. 251-9D just sitting out here in the open. This dude can very easily move forward as I decide to reposition my Befehl Panther eventually to deal with this T-34. Gotta unload nice and early here and just march him across. Got another recon coming in. Supply for the mortar. This 3 not going down. The retreat resilience being very powerful there. And eventually I do move my half-track back just to stop the double tick here. 2 more units trying to deal with this Tanko Thessaloniki down the south, but with the dual T-34 shooting at them. Not too much I can do. As this 2 does move forward and is going to pop this 251-9. As my mortar finally gets reloaded. Mortar fire coming down again. Stroke DP moving forward. Trying to get in a little more advanced position. Both Grenadiers unloading early there. Pioneer was in the green cover here, while the Tanko Thessaloniki were in the yellow cover, but Pioneer's not quite having that long-range DPS to prevent the Tanko Thessaloniki from just running limped out, as I'm forced to pull them back quite far. Befehl Panther finally repositioning here. Does get an eyes on that T-34, and that 2-star rate of fire really coming in handy here. Dual mortars though for my enemy, as we have entered into phase B, where the majority of my income is now. And now you have to be careful when you're losing this badly in these situations not to blindly flail against the enemy, as I think that is often the mistake that ends up causing the most amount of damage to your own forces. Pioneer falling back as the stroke ADP moves forward. 51-7, still dealing with things, and get another small push on this Tanko Thessaloniki here, hoping to take it out, but if well microed into the buildings, which it does get, that's still a very powerful 8 PPSHs. This 2 does finally make its way out here, as my Stug and Panzergrenadier do move forward. 2 more Pioneers coming in for the center position, trying to kill those Sturmoviki rocks yet again, as we're once again on a 15-9, unable, losing this flag here as my Befehl Panther is out of position from looking down the center road. Tanko Thessaloniki does take out both of those units. Mortars harassing my packs. I have moved them out of range of it, but it's getting very close to infantry, the M42 there. T4 versus Stug 4 should be an easy win. Does get the kill there eventually, as I bring in 2 Sturmgruppen and try and storm that position, hoping that he doesn't have anything further. But, as we see, there is an AT gun there, so well done by my opponent here for protecting his flanks. And a lot of times, at this point, players would just give up. So, 15-9 already, you're down this much. I remember a game with Yaman yesterday, and now Yaman perhaps a bit stronger than LordDarthViadro here, being a Division 2 player and all. It was basically over. He also went V for victory on Orsha North versus me in Maverick. Again, it was basically over by the 15-minute mark. I didn't have much that I could respond with, my front line being completely evaporated. Still have lots of units to play with here, though, so surrender not an option. As we rush forward, having dealt with that Zis 3 finally, with the 2-star Panther here coming up. Rush forward these Großdeutschland Sturmgruppen. I've got 7 minutes left on the clock here to come up with something, as my opponent just has to withstand the attack and actually not even flip it from 59 back to 12 for me. I have to somehow get a 59 myself, or even further, to hope in coming back at this at that crucial 28-minute mark. Now, the 28 minutes is actually very interesting, particularly for a Maverick versus V for Victory deck, here. Because with a normal balanced versus Maverick game, the income of balanced equalizes at approximately 26 minutes. Not the case for V for Victory. With its early start and its low B phase, it takes 28 minutes to actually equalize with Maverick. Sturmgruppe just charging forward. There was a Panzer strike here that I intended to come in, but Strelke or something unloading that before it can. I do get the kill on the T-34, but the T4 is retreated in time. Mortar still firing away. Sounds like an idea. I feel like going down to this 2-star Shoviki Rocks yet again as the Panzer IV goes down. Sturmgruppe charging ahead and likely going to get sniped as well. I believe one already did. I did have 2 coming in here as this 2 gets another kill. Smoking that off now. I'm hoping the smoke will last long enough to bring in some more infantry, but as the half-track goes down, there's no way I can reload and move it closer, which was actually the intention there. So smoke coming down a little late. My mic are very sloppy as this mess. CQC, Panther A, here taking on this horde of T4s. Zis2 loading. Großdeutschland Sturmgruppe is getting force. Can't retaliate versus the Zis2. Strelke DP firing its DP at a Panther and doing some damage actually. That does get pinned down itself, and I've got more infantry coming down, while the reinforcements for my opponent are very few and far between. Another Talman coming in, and I bring in some infantry in faster transports this time, hoping to capitalize on the smoke before it gives up. Befehl Panther moving back to the center position to take out this T-34 here, but we've got another T-34 coming in, and this one's protected by that Zis2 as well. But down here, Panther's fallen back just a bit. I'm trying to mortar this position as a bunch of Großdeutschland pioneers. This time we're CQC infantry. Do their best here. Strelke DB is doing his best to get a transport snipe there, but machine gun's proving enough as this Talman gets very, very close. This Flak 43 was just the entire game doing absolutely nothing. Dual PE2s, and just in time I moved the Panther A outside of the line of sight of the Strelke, forcing these two to whiff their shot. Oh man. And with that, Befehl Panther A, very dangerous here, gets the kill on the T-34, but then immediately has to fall back as this 2 starts firing. Pioneer moving too far forward, as well as the 251, trying to equalize it first of all, and I've got 2 minutes of income left. Pioneers, finally the Strelke goes down there. Panther A should be able to move forward relatively unimpeded, but if you've got a Panther in CQC, you're likely doing something wrong. Smoke goes down, forcing me to unload more Panzergrenz. Just didn't come in time. This lasted maybe 30 seconds too short as I didn't get it quite far up. However, finally in range here with my MG, and it does get the pin down before another unit goes down. Still unload, just in case, and now we're forced to march up to the front. 2 more Sturmoviki Rocks coming in here, as that Zis2 that was moving forward does get taken out finally. CQC Panther, M42 firing away. Strelke EP getting the side of that Panther, not what you like to see. These tanks are very thin side armor for such an expensive unit, but not firing. Still, I guess doesn't have enough penetration chance as this hero SDKFZ-71 gets the kill there. Pioneer getting a kill on 1 stream of Rocks, but after this such a bloody fail in dislodging this the second time, I'm just really like running low on units here. But with this northern area going down, the maximum does go down to the triple Panzergrenz, and more units coming down here. I actually have quite a bit of income saved up, thinking that, well, I'm not going to really be able to make too much of this, but my enemy's front line is quickly evaporating with quite the turnaround, if I do say so myself, in this match here. However, still got a couple of units moving forward. Panzer Grenadier getting actually surrounded there as the Strelky DP moves forward and such. Another PE2 coming in for that Panther. As my infantry blob does its best. Not getting surrendered because of the Strelky Camaraderie, but my Panther definitely forcing these to unload early. As once again, because these move out of the way, the PE2 fails to get on top of that Panther. Another PE2 coming in right away though. However, disengaging as the Panther has now moved. Sucker Kabani going down. 18-6 now, as this half-track secures this area. Another Großdeutschland Sturmgruppe coming in here. More infantry pouring in. The last little bit of my Maverick phase income now being used up. And I am just going for the all-out push. My opponent now on the much more healthy income decides to buy 2 T-34s and a couple Strelky DTs. Another T-34 coming in, just more T-34s, hoping to stem this absolute tide of infantry and half-tracks here. Focke-Wulf 190 being used almost as a air overwatch, trying to catch any of those PE2s as they come in again, but other than that, big group of Panzer IVs coming in. Panther's still alive. Infantry moving forward. No command down here. But Aufklärer Panzers 38 Ts. We've still got the packs slowly moving forward, and the 251 has now run out of ammo. Panther moving forward. This mortar once again trying to just force that Sturmoviki rocks away from my front line as I move my 7-1 forward. Befehl Panther getting a shot at the T-34, but doesn't kill it. As the 7-1 actually ahead of the Panther in this moment forces that PE2 on. Very nice little Flak Felix, but very high resilience on these PE2s. I get the surround here with these half tracks. Infantry coming in to clear up these last 2 units as my opponent brings in a Strelky Camaraderie. T-34 here is going to be able to take care of that, but versus a blob of Panzer IVs, it does need to get out of there. Second shot coming in. It's actually 1v1ing right now. Yeah, the Panther IV is not quite in position to take care of that, but I do get the kill. And now, with my Befehl Panther being allowed to move forward, gets 1 T-34 kill already, and is going to snipe off these other 2 here. So because this 2 coming in to try and counter that Befehl Panther finally. Infantry blob manages to clean up the infantry here as we now hit a 4 to 20. Not something you see every day. As my opponent's front line now quite in contrast to what was happening earlier in Phase B, my opponent's line has completely evaporated now, and there's just not much he can do anymore to stop this absolute tie. And that turnaround happened over the course of maybe 2.5 minutes. Like, it went from 12-12, and the 9-12 also happened in the course of just about 3 minutes. So it went from 12-12 to 24 over the course there. As this dude is going to get another shot at this Befehl Panther. I do see it though. Not firing for some reason because it's too far away. So I do get some cheeky shots on that K-37. Another PE3 coming in, but 7-1. The hero of this match brought it at the very beginning, really. Taking another go at that PE3. Not getting the kill, which is quite surprising for these very overbuffed Flak Feelings, but the 3P being very powerful right now. T-34 here still being able to hold on to this flag. I do have a pack now moving forward. And a bunch of Panzer IVs here. They did clean up the 1 T-34. They're going to try and make their way into the sill to clean up the other one. Panther A as well, firing away as we get another Talman. And, well, Mr. Unpositioned Flak 43 over here, not doing too well. So I'm forced to buy in with my really low B-face income fighter here. The Stu did eventually get a shot off and crit the Befehl Panther. But as you can see, our men is about to collapse. We must restore the situation now. That's a total defeat now, 21-3. Talman us go down right before it reaches the Befehl Panther. As more T-34s come in for my opponent. Panzer Grenadiers firing away. This SIS-3 forced to move back to fire from those Panther Grenadiers. I didn't bring in MG-42s to support these units. Such a Sturmgruppe tearing apart the stroke EDP in the open. And now with very few seconds left on the game here. 23-0. Or 24-0 as I capture the final flag, taking out this T-34. And there we see why people don't take V for Victory versus Maverick. Really. Just absolute turnaround right there. Well played to my opponent in the early phases, but potentially too much of an investment in air to really carry it through to the end there. In terms of kills and losses, ZIS-2 is actually doing very well, getting multiple transport snipes here, in fact. Here as well, Stug, transport snipes, they did their job, but didn't do their job enough. Panzer IV is also doing well on the Russian side. In terms of me, the Befehl Panther, which a lot of people laugh at me for bringing all the time, pays itself off in spades. Even with the 190 point initial cost, this is probably 300 points, if not more. Well, each T-34 is 120, right? If these are the ones that cost 60 points. So, over 300 points worth of T-34s here. And in total, almost 400 points of stuff. The 7-1 also doing good, as well as keeping my Befehl Panther capable and willing to do its job throughout the entire battle, so those PE2s couldn't rocket it. But other than that, this hero CQC Panther taking out 4 T4s, as well as anything else that was harassing my infantry in that forest there, really allowing me to clean up. Mortar's not doing too good. 1 AA piece and 1 Sturmgewehr Rocks in the end. And for a mortar that I brought in the beginning, not great. But I hope you enjoyed this little show of force, Maverick versus V for Victory. And goodbye.